to the channel. So this is some more video here on the New Holland 479 Haybine that my dad found on the side of the road going to a job one day. We stopped and looked at it, and it was for sale actually. And we picked this thing up about mid-April, mid to end of April, and got it bought for $650. It had been sitting outside for quite some time. The guy wasn't sure, maybe 7 years. His dad had it before him and used it to cut alfalfa. So it's a 1970s model, I believe, like a mid to late 70s. But overall, besides it being rusty and the paint bad, it seems in pretty good shape. We had about a 40-minute drive home. We couldn't get the tongue to separate because the bolt was rusted up, so we had to haul it with some overhang. Luckily, we didn't hit any mailboxes. But we got it unloaded, and then I'll get it hooked up to the tractor. Put a new hydraulic cylinder on here, new hoses. Didn't come with one. Get this thing freed up, locked over, so we're gonna go out here and test it out and see how it cuts. So everything seems to work on it. We got a bad tire on the right side. It's coming apart, and obviously the sickle bar and everything's really dull, but for the most part everything seems to turn and function on it with no problems. We got a broken spring that we'll have to address, and some other things, so let's get started on it. So we had a broken spring on this side when we got it, and this spring is $300. And all these would adjust, so I could adjust the tension. And when I was adjusting this one, it just snapped off right here. So what I did is I took a nut, threaded on halfway, and then threaded this rod that used to be on this side. I got a new one, took it out, threaded it in there. So now we got it welded. So these jam nuts here, you can loosen them and adjust the spring tension right here. So rather than cutting this spring off to get this broken bolt out of this piece, because you can thread this square in, but you can't thread it out because it starts twisting the spring. So to get it off, I would have to ruin this spring, and didn't want to do that for another $300. So welded that on here. So now I'm just going to adjust it right here. So in theory this should work. So normally this rod would be turning inside that. This will work temporarily until next year. I can get another spring. So I got the sickle bar out, got all the old guards taken off. We ordered all new guards and hold down plates, and we got 3 sickle bars with this thing. So we cut all the old sickles off, riveted on all new sections, and put a whole new bar in and guards. So now that we got everything put back together, we're going to take it out here and use it to trim this pasture. We usually brush hog it, but I figured I'd do a test run out here. It's about 2.5 acres, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut the whole thing, make sure everything's going to work right. And as you can see here, it's cutting, and we had no problems with it, so I think it's going to be ready to go. So it ended up and cut the field just fine, no issues. So the reason we got this thing was last year we planted some sorghum Sudan grass, which they call it safety graze, and we baled it. If you follow the channel and keep up with the videos, you've seen that we had a guy come in and cut it for us using a John Deere Moco, but he had tines on his mower for the conditioning. So we've heard that the rollers actually work better to crack the stems than tines, and we found this at a really good price that wasn't too beat up, and so we're going to try it this year, cutting it ourselves, and this thing will cut at around the 4-inch mark, and that's where we want to cut it, somewhere between 4 to 5 inches. So here in a few more weeks, hopefully the sorghum grows up good like it did last year, and we're going to cut it with it and bale it again. Anyways, thanks for watching the video, and we'll see you guys next time.